Torah Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yasharal and Yahuda. Crafted in Gentiles into the body of Hamashiach. Listen to none other than Hezekiah's song entitled Jeremiah chapter 4 and 7. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, you must be born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh to escape this judgment. Yahuwah has called me to cry loud and to spare not, to lift up my voice like a shofar in Zion. Listen, I'm here to warn the people. I am not here to make friends. I am here to establish sons and daughters of righteousness. In this witness, if you're born again, you are my brother. If in this witness you've received the Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood, we are in the same mishpaka. We belong to Yahuwah Eluah, and if you have received this Ruach HaKodesh, you got power, you got authority, you got something that is a benefit to the kingdom of Yahuwah, and it is time for you to go to war. You got to be prepared to say the Torah, declare the Torah, and put Hasatan on the real. Listen, demons and devils need to understand who you are in this kingdom. You have been chosen. You have been selected. You have been given power. What you doing with it? Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I thank you for giving me your Ruach HaKodesh. I thank you for giving me your Ruach HaKodesh. I thank you for establishing me in this witness by the Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood. Abba Yahuwah, I praise you right now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, that you are a king sovereign over those that you have chosen. You have sealed us with the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. Abba Yahuwah, I give you praise for this. Take the reins of my lips, Abba. Take the reins of my tongue and reign. May these words not cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. May they fall on the ears of those that you have chosen. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I pray. I pray, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, that these words would not fall on deaf ears. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that your word will be a lamp unto their feet, a light unto the pathway of those that you have chosen. You have chosen from amongst Yasharal and Yahuda. You have chosen amongst the other nations. Abba, I pray that this word reaches those that you have chosen. I bind demonic, demon, devils, Ruach spirits that has set itself up against the chosen of Yahuwah, that are warring in their minds, that are causing confusion in their hearts. I demand you to take your hands off of those that Yahuwah has chosen. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, the kingdom suffers violence. You are bringing violence to the kingdom of Yahuwah, but the kingdom of Yahuwah, take it by force. Yeah. We have been given the power. We are doing greater works because we are numbered. We are a numbered people who are receiving the Ruach of Yahuwah and going forth in power. Yeah, we're taking back Yahuwah's kingdom. We're bringing back those that Yahuwah has chosen. We're taking them out of your hands, snatching them out of the flames of fire. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, Abba Yahuwah, I thank you for honoring your word in the Amein that I speak in the Eretz. I give you praise, Abba Yahuwah. I give you praise, Abba Yahuwah. I bind demons of distraction. I bind demons of perversion. I bind demons of distraction. I operate in the authority, exercising my use of the keys to the kingdom. Yeah. You no weapon turned against me, prosper. You can't kill me. You can't take my life. I belong to Yahuwah. You can't have Yahuwah's chosen. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, Abba Yahuwah, I pray right now that you would honor what I have prayed on your Eretz. the authority that I exercised on your wretch, that you would honor it in the Shamayim. You said you would give me whatsoever I ask. I'm asking that the powers of hell be broken over those that are under the sound of my voice, that are looking to receive your witness, your Ruach HaKodesh, your water, and your blood. Abba Yahuwah, I pray. Loose now, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha Mashiach. Loose them now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Loose them now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, Abba Yahuwah. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that you loose them now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Rokorabata sheta urku shinjeda yarabora manyengenjeda urasa kigi uradasa. Abba, I pray in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach that a fire, that a flame would be set ablaze in their hearts, in their minds. Abba Yahuwah, that they would understand the seed, this righteous field, this righteous Ruach HaKodesh. Abba Yahuwah, that they would take the battle to Hasatan and taking back Yahuwah's people. Abba Yahuwah, I pray right now in the name of Yahusha Mashiach that they would be able to hear the call, hear your voice, know when it's time to flee this whore, this wicked, diabolical whore. Yabba, Abba, Yabba, Aro, Uraba, Yahuwah. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I pray. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I pray. Abba, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I pray. Hallelujah. Listen. I love Aki Hezekiah. Hasatan is making war against the Kodeshim. Yeah. See, you got to take the kingdom by violence. You got to move by the authority that you have. Because he is not going to stop. He is going to be relentless. He is not going to quit. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. Listen. The kingdom suffers violence. Hasatan has been violent. He's been violent towards the people of Yahuwah. He has been violently wicked towards those that are in his kingdom under his dominion. But listen here. I got a word for you. I have a word for you. You are not subject to Hasatan's dominion if you are in the kingdom of the Shamayim. You are not subject to Hasatan's rulership, Hasatan's dictates. You are no longer under his dominion if you are in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach. Yeah. Now, you bruised that don't want to receive the witness. You bruised who want to believe and be convinced that that's just a European man's religion, right? You go on with that idea, because in the end, you are going to be destroyed, because the witness brings Yeshua. The atonement of the Lamb of Yahuwah, your kinsman, redeemer, brings Yeshua. So if you want to bypass that, you want to just jump over and think that you're going to just return the Torah and you're just going to come back under a covenant, you are going to die. Yeah, you're going to die. You're going to die without hope, because Yahuwah has given you this witness first. You tried to give it to your forefathers, and they didn't want to receive it, right? But many did receive it. They got power. they became the sons of Yahuah, even them that believed on his name, Yah's salvation, Yahusha. Yeah. And see, you got to understand that, in this process of receiving this witness, there comes a cleansing, right? Yahuah, through the atoning blood of Yahusha HaMashiach, has purged you from unrighteousness. He looks at you as if you've never sinned because of the blood. Yeah. And because of that, now you can receive that Ruach HaKodesh that David said, oh, that my soul. How did he says it? David says it here. He says in Psalms 119:5, oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes, right? Because that sin, fallen, wicked, diabolical nature ruled. It reigned. And he had Yahuwah's Ruach, and he struggled at times, but he knew the source of his power was in Yahuwah. Yeah. See, that's why in Ezekiel, where is it? In Ezekiel 36, and 36 and 26, he says, let's go to 25. He says, then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be cleansed. You will be cleansed, right? From all your filthiness. And from all your idols will I cleanse you. How is he going to do that? He's going to do that by his word. His word was made flesh. His word is Yahushua Mashiach. I will cleanse you. What did Yahusha say? What did Yahusha say in the first chapter? We got to do this. We got to do this. We have to do this. What did Yahushua HaMashiach say? What did Yahushua HaMashiach say? And Yahuchanon, that first chapter. Yeah. Oh, see, now you want to act crazy on, but it don't matter, because you gonna obey. See, the computer's just acting stupid now, right? All of a sudden, it don't want to advance. I know it anyway. He said in Yahuchanon, the first chapter, the word was made flesh, and it dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory. That same word, that same Yahushua HaMashiach, that same Torah that was in the beginning when Yahuwah was made flesh. And when we get to Yahuchanon, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it this way. Oh yeah. When we get to Yahuchanon, the third chapter, right? You gotta understand that there's no method, there is no way to establish Yeshua apart from a blood atonement and apart from receiving Yahushua HaMashiach. There is no Yeshua. Listen, our people, right, Yasharal and Yehuda, understood that they had to keep Torah. The priests understood they had to perform daily sacrifices. They understood that once a year they had to go and bring atonement. They understood the nature of the discipline that was required in order for us to be covered under a covenant. Covered under a covenant. Just covered under a covenant, right? A covering, right? Our nature did not change. Our nature did not change. We didn't become new beings. We didn't have any power. Yahuwah didn't pour out his Ruach HaKodesh on the whole nation. The blood of goats and of calves and of oxen and of turtle doves could never satisfy the sin requirement of man. It was only available for a covering. See, you got to understand that it's witnesses of Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, this process has been established from the foundation of the erects. Yahuwah already knew what was going to be necessary and had already had provisions through time. He already made the provisions. Yahusha told Niqodiymon in the 3rd chapter of the 3rd verse, he says, answered and said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man, without exception, this man has to. Without exception, this woman has to. This is non-negotiable. This is non-negotiable. This process has to be implemented. You can't get by without completing the process. The process is necessary, right, in order to be a part of the kingdom. He said, listen, verily I say unto thee, except a man or a woman, right, be born again, right, he cannot see. You can't see the kingdom. You won't even be able to physically lay eyes on the kingdom, right? But you ain't going to be able to discern what the kingdom is without going through the process. You ain't going to mentally be able to ascertain to it. You ain't going to be able to grasp the gravity of the kingdom. You ain't going to be able to discern and to completely understand and see what this kingdom is. You're going to fuddle and muddle and stumble and all these other things because you haven't received the process. Ezekiel said it like this. And I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be cleansed from your filthiness. Right. So for you Torah before you Torah people who do not want to grasp, right, the Besorah, because you could declare that it's just something that was added to take away from the Torah. Ezekiel said it. Ezekiel said it. Yahuwah said it through the prophet Ezekiel. He said, listen, I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be cleansed from all your filthiness. See. David didn't know what that looked like. David did not know what that looked like. He had not experienced that. He experienced this righteous Ruach that Yahuwah gave him to exercise certain things, to perform certain things, to do certain things, to rule the kingdom. But see, David didn't know what it meant to have a heart that was sprinkled with clean water. David said it this way. Oh, Psalms 119:5. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep your Torah. To keep your Besorah. Right? Just if there was something that went on the inside that changed this sinful nature, this diabolicalness that causes me to continue to perpetually sin and transgress Torah. He said, then shall I not be ashamed, There is therefore now no shame. There is therefore now no condemnation for them that are in Hamashiach Yahusha. See, that we didn't see this, that we didn't know this, that we didn't experience this. Right. That we said, oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy Torah. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respected to thy commandments. He said, I will praise you from an uprightness of heart, when I shall learn thy righteous judgments. Oh, I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. See, that we was in a process of developing and understanding and moving in this discipline of Torah. See, but listen. In Ezekiel, right? In Ezekiel, he says Yahuah concerning Yasharah, because listen, you go up to the 23rd verse, he's talking about the renewed covenant that comes through Hamashiach Yahusha. And 23, he says, I will sanctify my great name that was profaned amongst the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. Yeah, we did it. We took the Torah and profaned it. We took the Torah and profaned it. We took the Torah, kicked it aside, kicked the statutes and the judgments and the commandments aside, and clung to the statutes and the Torahs of the heathens and of these wicked idols. We did it. It's just this perpetual thing that continues to occur amongst the nation of Yasharah. Yeah. We did it. Right? He says, I will sanctify my great name amongst the heathen, which he has profaned in the midst of them, and the heathen shall know that I am Yahuwah. The heathens are going to know, these wicked diabolical nations are going to know, Babylon, the United Snakes of America is going to know, they're going to know that Yahuwah is Adonai of Eloah. Yahusha is Adonai. They're going to know that Yahusha, Eloah, right? When I shall be sanctified in you. When I'm sanctified in you. Right? Now, how is Yahuwah going to do this process of sanctification? Right. What's going to set us apart from the mindset of Dawid? See, this is Ruach teaching, right? This is the Ruach HaKodesh. This has got nothing to do with me. The Ruach HaKodesh is showing you, right? He's showing you, right, how he has revealed Yahushua HaMashiach throughout the book. But see, you gotta have a Ruach HaKodesh to understand and discern. You got to have the keys. You have to have this Ruach of truth. He said, listen, I will sanctify my great name amongst the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahuwah. When I am set apart, I am sanctified. I am made a part of the kingdom of Yahuwah. When I have been removed, translated from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of his dear son, you need to understand that this witness has brought you from the kingdom and the dominion of darkness into the kingdom of Yahuwah, and you have a bullseye on you. But here's the kicker. No weapon formed against you prospers, because you are under a different kingdom. You are under a far superior rulership. You have keys to the kingdom of the Shamayim. You literally have the ability in the arrest to operate like Yahusha HaMashiach did. Dawid didn't have that. Dawid didn't have that. Dawid didn't have signs following him because he believed. Dawid didn't have a sacrifice that was cleansing enough to purge, to eradicate the consciousness of sin. He didn't have that. David's consciousness was constantly under attack, even though Yahuwah gave him his Ruach to do what he needed to be done as the king of Yasharal. He gave them the Ruach of might when necessary to battle their enemies, but David didn't know what is in Ezekiel. Yahuwah says, I will take you from among the heathen. I will pull you out from among the heathen. And I will gather you out of all countries. Now this is what Yahuwah's overall declaring the end from beginning outcome of the captivity. That's what he's doing. He's giving you the end of gathering all his people at the time that he is appointed to the place that he is determined. That ain't got nothing to do with leaving Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. That has nothing to do with the fleeing of Babylon, the leaving of this whore, and to going to the continent of Yahuwah, the land of Yahuwah. This is the end. Right? This is what his intentions are. This is what the overall outcome is going to be. Right. But listen. He's called me to cry loud and spare not. He's called me to tell you that you need to be born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh. You need to be translated from the kingdom of Hasatan into the kingdom of Yahuwah. And in this translation, or translating from a kingdom that was once under the dominion of Hasatan to the kingdom of Yahuwah, you become his responsibility. And he's going to provide for you, make provision for you in your Amunah as you speak Torah. He said, listen, he says, I will sprinkle clean water on you. He gonna sanctify you before he gathers you. He's not going to gather you and then sanctify you. You gotta understand these writers, man. You gotta understand how Yahuwah spoke. Got to have the Ruach HaKodesh to be able to discern what he's doing. Yahuwah's not gathering a wicked people after he has sprinkled clean water and provided the provisions of Yeshua. See, this program was a game changer. Yahusha HaMashiach was the game changer. Yahusha HaMashiach was the fulfillment of Torah. Yahusha HaMashiach's witness completed the process of restoration. You had to come through Yahusha HaMashiach's witness in order to be gathered. Yahuwah ain't gathering you if you are not accepting the witness of Yahusha Mashiach. If you're not going to receive the Torah made flesh, the Word made flesh, if you're not going to receive the witness, right, the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, if you're not going to accept the fact that Yahuwah has to sprinkle clean water on you, if you're not going to accept the fact that you must be born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, if you're not accepting the fact that in Ezekiel 36 and 25, then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be cleansed. See, we didn't know this. Everyone before the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach looked to this. That's why he said concerning Yahuchanon, there has never been a greater than him. He has the privilege of revealing Yah's salvation. He saw what that looks like. He was able to say, behold the Lamb of Yahuwah, the sacrifice that is going to take away the sins of Yasharah and Yahudah, that's going to take away the sins of the world. Because see, listen, this Yeshua came to us first, right? This Yeshua came to us first. But this witness by the Ruach HaKodesh, right? This witness, this water and this blood, is for everyone whom Yahuwah has chosen in Yasharah and of the other nations. Yahuwah says, then I will sprinkle clean water upon you. Yeah. He gonna sprinkle clean water upon you. Right? Dawid didn't have this. Dawid didn't have this. Right? See, but you, man of Yahuwah, listen. Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be cleansed. You will be cleansed. You will be clean. The process, the confession of your unrighteousness, your wickedness, your baptism decision to go into the water as a symbol of cleansing your filthy nastiness off your body. Yahuwah told the children of Israel, before you come before me, you got to take a bath. Before you present an offering, you got to take a bath. The priests, before they began to offer and do sacrifice, they had to wash. Ceremonially, they had to wash. They had to clean. They had to wash their hands. When Abraham did the sacrifices and presented them to his sons in obedience to follow, he said you had to wash, take a bath, wash, and then wash after. Make sure there's no blood on you. Make sure there's no blood on your garments. Wash again. Dawid didn't know this. Dawid didn't know what it meant to have a heart that was free from idolatry. Listen, he had a desire to do what is right, just like many other men of Yahuwah had a desire to do what is right and did the best that they could with what they had to live up to Torah. And that was an honored thing of Yahuwah. It was in their obedience that Yahuwah demonstrated his greatness in the midst of them. Look, Iob was a descendant of Esau. He was a king, a descendant of Esau, but he understood the importance of atonement. He understood the relationship that he had with Yahuwah. He was deemed as righteous. He didn't have a Ruach HaKodesh. He didn't even have the spirit of Yahuwah. He just feared Yahuwah and obeyed what Yahuwah had told him, and that was a demonstration of love to Yahuwah. See, in Yahusha Mashiach's witness, this is a different program. See, the atonement has been revamped. See, because the provision of goats and calves and lambs and sheep and turtle doves was no longer necessary in a sacrifice. Because Yahusha HaMashiach was that lamb. He was that ram. He was that turtle dove. He was it all. And his blood was introduced into the holies of holies, in the Shamayim, of which Yahuwah met him there in the tabernacle not made by hands. What did Yahuwah do? Yahuwah says, I'm pleased in it. And everyone that comes through you, this atonement, this blood, I will receive. This blood will get you cleansed. Listen. Ezekiel says, and I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be cleansed. From all your filthiness and from your idols will I cleanse you. Now you know, right? Anybody that got common sense knows that washing your nasty, filthy body ain't gonna cleanse the inside of you. It's not going to change the heart. There has to be something more significant. There has to be something added. There has to be an atonement, right? But you got to understand Yahuwah, when he's saying him, he's talking about Yahusha, his son, who is going to be the propitiation for our sin. His son, who is going to be king and priest. His son, in whom the scepter shall not depart from Yehuda, or lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, to rest come. Listen, Yahusha HaMashiach is that cleansing agent. It's that blood that Yahuwah sees. He says, and a new heart will I give you. See, now we didn't get a new heart. We didn't get a new heart. We didn't get a new heart. A new heart required a kinsman redeemer's sacrifice. But not just any kinsman redeemer. A righteous son of Eloah, born of a virgin. Right? Who grew up in the likeness of sinful flesh, but not sinful flesh. And by virtue of him being the kinsman redeemer, he became the sacrifice, because he was able to live a life without sin. And then when he, in obedience, followed the plan, came and was baptized by Yahuchanon, his cousin, a priest. Yahuchanon said, listen, man, I'm not worthy to baptize you. I'm not even worthy to unloose your shoes. Yahusha said, we got to do this because all things must be fulfilled. The scriptures must be fulfilled. Torah has to be fulfilled. So Yahuchanon took him in the water. And Yahuwah went down and came up and was immersed. Not because he needed it. Because he demonstrated the process to us. See, in Yahudim and Yasharal, we understood at that time that before we presented and became before a priest, we had to wash. Before we offered up a sacrifice, we had to wash. Before we presented a lamb, we had to wash. The process ain't changed. Can't circumvent the process. He says a new heart. Dawid didn't have a new heart. He was a man after Yahuwah's heart. Right? Because his desire was to keep Torah. His desire was to obey Torah. his desire, his passion was to fulfill Torah. This made him a man after Yahuwah's heart. Yahuwah loved what Dawid symbolized. Dawid disciplined. Dawid's pursuit of righteousness. Dawid's pursuit of Torah. He was a man after Yahuwah's heart. Yahuwah's heart said, this is what I want from my people. And this man demonstrates that. When this man is confronted with wrong, he repents. That pleases me, and he turns. It wasn't that Dawid's heart had been cleansed and that he had received a new heart. Because this process only occurs in Yahusha Mashiach. This process only occurs in Yahusha Mashiach. See, Yahusha Mashiach, these people that come as a result of being born again, right, who see the kingdom, right, they have a new heart. See, listen. That's why you heard me speak a day or two ago. It said in reference to, when Yahuwah gives you a new heart, there's not a struggle to keep Torah. The heart of righteousness in you dictates your obedience to Torah. When you have in your heart confessed your sins, and your motives is righteousness from that point on, and Yahuwah has given you this new heart, you experience this new birth, there's this change that goes on the inside of you that is not motivated to continue in violating Torah. It doesn't mean that the mind is not going to bring a war and that you're not going to have to transform how you think by the word, transform what you say by the word, right? Because all of these things factor in to you continually moving forward in the witness and in the power and in the Ruach HaKodesh. But listen. You ain't just you ain't walking around in sin all the time. And when sin presents itself, the Ruach HaKodesh is going to say, listen, no, not that. And you're going to be like, oh, not that. Hasatan, I rebuke you, I see you. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, Yahuwah said that I will not do this according to Torah. And I will do this according to Torah. See, that's just like a double-barrel shotgun. Boom! Boom! Yeah. You see, you've taken the battle to him. Because you have a new heart. You can do it because the transformation has occurred. That born-again new heart is on the inside of you, right? You don't want to sin. You don't want to sin against the Most High. You don't want to sin against the Most High. You don't want to sin against the atoning blood of Yahusha HaMashiach. You don't have a desire to continue in sin because you received a new heart. You received a new heart. Dawid never received a new heart. Only those that have come after HaMashiach, Yahusha's witness, has received a new heart. But that time that they were under, that atonement that was offered was sufficient unto HaMashiach. If they kept Torah. If they continued in Torah. If they maintained the discipline of Torah. Kadar, shut up and go lay down. You had to do it. You had to obey Torah. He said, I will sprinkle clean water upon you and cleanse you from all your filthiness, and all of your idols will I cleanse you. Listen, Bruce. Listen. Even those that are in this awakening. Because the awakening is not the quickening. The awakening is not the quickening. The awakening to discovery who you are historically, that they have hid from you, that is supposed to drive you to understanding that your people were diabolical, and that there is a witness through faith in Yahusha HaMashiach that restores you to being his people. But see, we have derailed in the awakening. Oh yeah, we have derailed in the awakening, right? We have derailed. We know we the people. We know we Yahudah, right? Right? We know we are of the 12 tribes, right? We have done our DNA research, and we know that our DNA, my DNA is in Spain and Portugal. My DNA is in Kenya, in Tanzania, right? My DNA is towards that southern side of the East Coast. But I also have DNA in Gabon, in that Nigerian area. You know, it's interesting, right? I was listening to this young Sakoti that I'm gonna post that in this I'm gonna put that link in here, right? Where she takes the book of Jubilees and the book of Genesis, right? And she maps out the territory, right, of the nation of Shem. She maps out the territory of the nation of Shem according to the rivers, the 4 rivers, right? And she brings in historical and scientific, right, references that point to certain rivers that once existed there have been dried up, right? But this area that she maps out, right, it's the same area that's just starting to break off of Africa. This is the nations, this is the territory, this is the land, right, where she believes, right, according to the scriptures and how she's understood where it is, right, the Garden of Eden is, and the land of Yahuah. Yeah, because you know, Arabia is a part of Shem. Listen. Africa, the continent, is where the people of Yahuah has to go. When we flee Babylon, we have to leave Babylon. Right? My desire is to take the Gaols, right, and everyone else who wants to come along, right, over to the east coast of Africa. And you know what, even if we land on the west coast, Yahuwah's still going to gather us to take us where we need to go when the time comes. Got to understand the gathering. Listen. Yahuwah's going to sprinkle clean water on you. He's going to give you a new heart. That's in this witness. That's being born again of Yahusha HaMashiach's witness. He says, and a new heart will I give you, and a new Ruach, or the new Ruach, because your old nature, your Ruach was dead. Right? He says, and he's going to give you a new Ruach. He said, and I'm going to put within you, and I'm going to take out the stony heart, right, of your flesh, and give you a new heart of flesh, which means that he's going to take away that thing that caused your deadness that Adam had presented in his disobedience, right? That passed on to everyone, right? That had you in this place where your heart had this propensity to participate, to take pleasure in, and enjoy sin. He's going to give you a new heart. You know, now Yahusha said, right? Yahusha answered said unto him, truly, truly, I say unto you, except a man is born again. See, now, I don't know about you, but if you receive a heart transplant, and if that heart transplant is new, then that creates a new you. Ruach HaKodesh. If you have a new heart transplant, you have an old heart and your heart just ain't, it's keep crashing, and they got you in line for a heart transplant, which I would never receive, because I'm not gonna take something that was in somebody else's body and put it to mine. I'm sorry, that's diabolical. That was never ever intended in Yahusha, in Yahuah. I understand this technology is a double-edged sword. Oh, well, you know, I was able to live 6 more months because somebody else's heart. Right. I was able to survive because I got blood transfusions for somebody else. The life of the flesh is in the blood. See, in this witness, you need to have his Ruach HaKodesh water in his blood so that he can set anything that you might have gotten straight. All right. Cool. Speak Ruach HaKodesh. Then he says, verily I say unto you, as much man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of Elohiym. Right? You can't see the kingdom of Elohiym unless you're born again. Unless you're born again. Unless you're born again. Well, what about the people who died before Yahushua Mashiach? They still had Amunah. And Yahusha, has met with them. Listen, Yahusha wasn't in the grave for 3 days struggling with Hasatan to come out. Yahusha wasn't in the grave struggling with Hasatan to get out, and it took 3 days. If you believe that, you done bumped your head. Yahusha had to demonstrate to those that had died before his birth and his sacrifice. He had to bring to them this Yeshua. They had to see the kingdom of Yahuah. They had to witness what Yahusha had in Avraham's bosom. See, this Basura has to be preached. You know, has to be preached. Hasatan wasn't holding Yahusha in chains. Hasatan, when Yahusha got down into the inners of the Eretz, and he realized what he had done, and Yahusha said, listen, give me the keys. You do not rule any longer over those that Yahuwah has chosen. Give me the keys to death, to Sheol, to the grave, to hell. I didn't argue. Yeah, okay. Take him as a rap. I know. And then he went and did his word. Preached his word. To those who had entered into the rest in lieu of having gained victory, in lieu of the resurrection. New heart. Yahuah gives a new heart. He says, in that 5th verse, and Yahusha said unto them, except a man be born of water, sprinkled with clean water, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Now look at Ezekiel, right? 27. And I will put my Ruach. So my Ruach is the Kodesh Ruach. Right? Because these writers, they mess around with stuff. You look at what these writers, how they translate that small s. When that should be capital S, capital S, capital P-I-R-T, capitals. You know what they do? They throw you off. But see, when you understand this Yahuwah's Ruach, there's only one Yahuwah's Ruach, and that's the Ruach HaKodesh. And in that Ruach HaKodesh, there's the Ruach of wisdom, the Ruach of understanding, Ruach of counsel, Ruach of might, Ruach of knowledge, Ruach of fear of Yahuah, and the Ruach of Yahuah. So he says, I will put my Ruach HaKodesh and cause you to walk in my statutes. See, you're not going to rebel. You can't live in constant disobedience because his Ruach on the inside of you won't allow it. And if you, after having received his Ruach, wants to continue in sin, then his Ruach departs. And then you're in a dangerous place. A dangerous place. You're in a place of possible reprobation. You have allowed Hasatan to take back what Yahusha gave in the Ruach HaKodesh through the witness of the blood from you. You're potentially doomed. Unless Yahuwah has mercy. He said, and I will put my Ruach HaKodesh in you, because that's what it is, and cause you to walk in my statutes. Now see, Dawid said, oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Which means at the time that Dawid was in this earth, his ways weren't directed to keep Yahuwah's statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto your commandments. See, I have respect unto Yahuwah's commandments. I have Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh. It's not egregious. It is not difficult. It is not hard for me to keep Torah. Because I have his Ruach HaKodesh in me. I will put my Ruach HaKodesh in you and cause you to walk in my statutes, right? And keep my judgments and do them. And because of this Ruach HaKodesh in me, this new birth, this new heart, this born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, because of this translation from the kingdom of darkness to the kingdom of the Son of Yahuah. Listen, I'm a threat. Satan is going to launch everything against me, especially when you're in the early stages of this new birth. And you've received this Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, he gonna bombard you, and you are going to have to stand. Having done all, you are going to have to stand. Having done all, you are going to have to stand. Ephesians, right? This warfare, there's warfare. The kingdom suffers violence from Hamashiach, from the time of Hamashiach up until the time that Yahusha Mashiach came. The kingdom suffers violence, but see now, we can take it by force. Satan took it by force. We cannot take back the kingdom by force. See, in taking back the kingdom, it's taking back those that are in the kingdom of darkness and bringing them into the kingdom of light. That's warring a good warfare. That's operating in the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah. That's these signs following them to believe. That's those, you having the keys to the kingdom of the Amein. That's you walking in delegated authority. That's you walking in dunamos, exousia, delegated authority. Dunamos, explosive power. That's you cutting the head off the enemy. That's you doing spiritual warfare. And you know, if the time comes where you got to engage in the natural like David did by the spirit of might and chop a giant's head off, then listen, the kingdom suffers violence. And the violent take by force. And you know, Yahudah, that's the instruction that Yaakov gave to Yahudah. He said, you teach your children the bow. You teach your children the sword. You teach your children the weapons of war. Well, because you're going to need them sometimes. Doesn't mean that we use them in place of having the spiritual weapons employed first. And but you know, there's some demons that just ain't going to get it. See, you got to understand, right? Listen. There are those that are in the kingdom of Satan, right? That Satan will sacrifice in an attempt to get to you. There are agents, there are vessels, there are sold out people to the purpose and the plan of Satan that will give their life, and you may have to take it. See, that's a hard pill for some of y'all to swallow. But listen, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. We are going to always lead in the Ruach HaKodesh. We're going to always lead by the Ruach HaKodesh. We are going to pray. We are going to meditate. We are going to seek Yahuwah's word. We're going to fast. We're going to stay on the offensive. But you may have those that have been deemed sacrifices by Satan to be agents to try to destroy you. And guess what? You may have to chop the head off. Listen to this. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yahuah, that ye may be able to withstand. Right? That ye may be able to withstand. Okay, now let's look at this. What does it mean to withstand?
Strong's G 436. Anthistemi.
Anthistemi. Anthistemi, right. To set oneself against. To withstand, to resist, to oppose, to set against. Right? 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 You got to be ready to withstand, right? To resist. See, resisting requires the Torah. You just don't tell Yahuchanon, no, I'm not accepting that. No, you give Yahuchanon Torah. Yahuchanon, it is written. Bam. See, the only way you can do this is if you meditated in Torah. If you renewed the mind in Torah. You have established the premise of scriptural importance in what you say that takes you from the defense to the offense. Stick and move. Listen. That ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. Come on, man, make no mistake about it. This is the evil day. Right? This diabolical horror, this United Snakes of Babylon, right? This United Snakes of Babylon, this whore, this diabolical, twisted whore, who calls right wrong and wrong right. And I ain't talking about everybody in the United Snakes of America, but enough of them that control and manipulate everything that happens in the United Snakes of America. Yeah. These Yates, these Maxine developers, these GMO sponsors, the ABC injecting into our food, people. See, you better have the Ruach HaKodesh. You better have power. You better be born again. Because they have tried. Listen, understand this. Right? That former president that we had has said that the only way that you would ever know that a vaccine, that a vaccine would work, right, is by using it on people. It was the greatest experiment. So now they understand some of what goes into this this ARB thing, and they can start injecting it into the animals. so that you get it anyhow, maybe in small doses, but enough to kind of mess with you. Listen, they've been doing these things. They've been bringing these things. They've been introducing things into this United Snakes of America for years. See, and unless you're born again and have Yahuwah give you a new heart and set in motion this ladder of yours and sanctify it and fortify this ladder that you have, right? This DNA ladder. You're gonna be doomed. Some of y'all know of loved ones that have availed themselves of Claudine, Aberdeen, Maxine, and Jolene. And are now unalived. The day is evil. Seeing these young Akis, man. My prayer is that, they're born again of the water, the Ruach HaKodesh, that they stay vigilant, that they stay prayerful, that they stay fasting, that they stay in Torah, that they continue to say Torah, that they continue to let Torah be what dictates what they say, how they respond. Because Hasatan is coming. See, and the thing is Hasatan, before you made the step and the decision to become born again, right? He already had you. Yeah, he was doing things in the background that you weren't aware of, right? Right, but these things were occurring anyway, right? And then, you get the notion of the necessity of being born again, and then Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh of truth begins to reveal things to you, right? And then Hasatan just starts to blow up things that were already there, that Yahuwah just made visible, so that you now understand to what degree you're going to trust the Most High, having been taken from the kingdom of darkness, translated from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of Yahuwah. No weapon going to form against you going to prosper. Right? But you know what? You're in a war. You're in a war against the kingdom of darkness in an evil day. Make no mistake about it. Look around you. It's evil. Listen. Men are evil. Women are evil, wicked and diabolical, unfaithful, unholy. A bunch of people that believe that if they can motivate themselves by saying positive things, that somehow frees them up to be successful. When you're still in your sinful, diabolical nature, don't matter what you say, it ain't going to change who you are. Your change is not going to ever matriculate into anything in this eternal scheme of things until you're born again. See, then you can go to Yahuwah in the Torah and say, Yahuwah, you said according to your word, house and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from Yahuwah. Now, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I believe this word. And I'm speaking this word in Amunah, believing what I say come to pass, because you said I can have whatsoever I say in this witness. See. That's the game changer. That's how you operate in the evil days. And then then you understand that the evil days, right, having done all, right, having done all, to stand, having done all, to stand. Stand, therefore. Having done everything you know how to do in prayer, in fasting, and meditating on the word of Yahuah, and speaking the word of Yahuah over your life, over your situation, having done that, standing, continue to do the same thing. Because the weapons of your warfare, the spoken word by the Ruach HaKodesh, is your sword. You have to speak the word, and you have to hear yourself say it in order to be established in Amunah. You have to understand that the Torah is necessary because it establishes you in Amunah. It causes you to be successful in Him. It causes you to be strengthened in Him. He said, therefore, having done all to stand, stand therefore. Right? Having your loins girded about with truth. Now, having your loins girded about with truth. Right? What's the truth? What's the truth? Is it one? Here it is. 119 and 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy Torah, the truth. Dawid. Yahuwah's righteousness, that righteousness that you have received in Amunah, in the Ruach HaKodesh, that now has caused your heart to be changed, right, is an everlasting righteousness. Because you're born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh. The life that you now have is an everlasting life that's going to take you into an everlasting kingdom. Right? Yahuwah's Torah is truth. Yahusha's Torah is truth. Psalms 119 and 51. Thou near, O Yahuwah, and all thy commandments, truth. All thy commandments, truth. Having done all to stand, stand. Stand therefore, having your loins, right, girded about with Torah. Torah is your anchor. Your obedience is your anchor. Your obedience in Torah establishes you. Torah is truth. Having Torah, having the Besorah, anchors you. Sanctify them, Yahusha said, through thy truth. Thy word, Torah, Besorah, is truth. having your loins girded about with Torah. Let's look at loins. What's the Greek word for loins?
Strong's G 3751. Asphus.
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 Asphus. Right? Right? Hebrew. The place where the Hebrews thought the generative power resided. Understand this, right? I think China calls it they call it like a chi. I think they call it a chi. It's like a power. Right? Right? It's where your force and your thrust comes from. The center of your loins. Right? The Hebrew, according to the translator here, hip is the loins, right? To gird about the loins, right? 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 It says here, a place where the Hebrew thought the generative power, right, semen resides. So what he's saying is the power of what you have that's going to anchor you, where your force comes from, is Torah. It's the Torah. Torah of Basur. Right? Having your loins. Right? Having your loins girded with truth. Let Torah be the power, the force. And have on the breastplate, of righteousness. See, a breastplate protects your vitals. Torah is the force from within. Righteousness causes darts and arrows not to penetrate because you're obedient to Torah. Because of what you have become in the witness of Yahusha Mashiach, you have been made righteous through the atoning blood and the receiving of the Ruach HaKodesh. No weapon, no arrow that is launched against you, because you have your loins girded about with truth. Your inners, everything that's about your vitals is protected. That's why Hotstown couldn't kill me. He said he was. But he couldn't kill me. Because I told him. I belong to you. I've been translated from the kingdom of darkness to the kingdom of his dear son. I belong to him. You can't jump into his kingdom and murder me. You can't get into his kingdom past the Malachim, past Yahusha HaMashiach, past the glory of the righteous Yahuwah, and get to me. Because I'm hid together in a Mashiach in heavenly places. I understand who I am and what I am. No, you can't take my life. Did he try? With no success. My testimony is I have overcome him through the blood of Hamashiach Yahusha. I got righteousness. I'm in Torah. I'm in that place of righteousness through the atonement that comes through faith in Hamashiach Yahusha. I'm a son of Yahuwah. I have Torah as my loins. Torah is the source of my power, my flow, my everything. Torah. He said, listen. And your feet shod with the preparation of the Basora of peace. See, because where you go, everywhere your feet steps, you should be in position to be a server of the Basora of peace. See, where you go, you should be bringing peace through the witness, through the good news. Listen, don't mean you ain't gonna be attacked. I was on my way to a baptism, to a Shabbat, and to minister to my mother, right? Spend some time with my family, right? Right? They know who I am. They know what I represent, right? But you know, the Most High told me I needed to go there because he had a plan. He mapped everything out for me before I left. Everything fell into place. Everything. Mechanically, everything. Tires, everything. Everything was operating at an optimal place. Me, I was that righteousness with my feet shod, with the loins girded about, with the shield, with the breastplate of righteousness. Prepared to deliver a word. To declare a Torah of truth. To be Yahuwah's weapon of war. To bring in souls to the kingdom, because that's why the Ruach is given. To lay hands on the sick. To cast out devils. He said, listen. Above all, taking the shield of faith. Now why is above all these things the shield of faith? Because without Amunah in the word of Yahuwah, it's impossible to please him. See, without Amunah, right, it's impossible for me to ride up a hill, come around, and next thing I know, I'm flipping, I'm off a motorcycle, and I'm face down on the ground, and I'm saying to myself, no, the Ruach says to me, give yourself a few seconds. So I'm there, right? He says, just check yourself. Ain't nothing broken. Had my helmet on, full face. Had my leather gear on. Had my cold weather gear on. I got a little scrape on the leg. I got a little scrape on the side. Right? And the side scrape, I'm not even sure how that happened because, you know, I had a vest that covered my side. I rolled and scratched on that side. Maybe the rock got up in there and did what it did. But listen, I got up. because my Amunah had already declared that I knew what I had to do. My Amunah, before I left the house, the night before I left the house, early that morning, the Most High told me to take my staff and to spread it apart. Take my staff, one hand, and spread it like this. In the other hand. He says, I have made the way. I knew, and my Amunah told me. I'm like, y'all can pray for me. I covered the prayers of the saints. But at the end of the day, it's my Amunah. Because above all, I got to take Amunah, the shield. Because Hasatan going to tell me he going to kill me. I got to know in Amunah, above all things, that ain't possible. Because he don't have dominion in the kingdom of Yahuah to do it. Demons don't have dominion in the kingdom of Yahuah to do it. They don't have the authority to do it in the kingdom of Yahuah. Above all. See, listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, you have to be established in Amunah. You have to understand that if Torah says it, that settles it. And then you have to begin to say Torah. The loins that you have, its foundation is in Torah that emanates that power from you, the Ruach HaKodesh in you, right? The Ruach of truth, the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. Having your loins girded with the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. Having your loins girded with the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. That power, that force, that life force that's in your loins, in your belly, around your waist, wherever. Listen, that life force. And above all, you have to have the righteousness, right? Right? Your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel. You have to have received the Basor of truth. You have to be walking in the Basor of truth. You have to be in the process of delivering the Basor of truth. You got to understand this witness, why you are born. The kingdom suffers violence, why Yahuwah has designated you as a son with authority with kings, as a daughter with authority with keys. Why? Because you have to take the fight to Hasatan. And the demons, the devils. When you first get in the witness, when you first get in this witness, man, you get up out of that water, you blessed, you excited, you believe in you for Ruach HaKodesh, who was giving you the Ruach HaKodesh. Now you see stuff in scripture and you revealing stuff to you, he's speaking to you, you hearing him, right? Right now, Hasatan's going to level everything he got on you. He's going to try to get you to draw back. You ain't going to have no pleasure in anybody that draws back. Yahuwah has no pleasure in them that draw back. He said, above taking the shield of faith, which ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts. See, because Hasatan sent a dart. I will kill you. My Amunah in the sword, the Torah, right? No, you won't come because I belong to Yahuwah. I'm a son of Yahuwah, beloved. Now we the sons of Yahuwah. I belong to Yahuwah. I'm in his kingdom. Sword, that dart bounced off. Yeah, I took a spill, but I got up. I ain't break no bones. I ain't got no internal injuries. Again, I told you before, if I would have had an internal injury having a blood thinner, right, I could have died just through internal bleeding. But see, Yahuwah's done something to my DNA. I took a serious flip to do tumble And you, it's not something to my DNA, because, I was able to just jump right up. Either that, he had an angel. He said, okay, we'll let him tumble a little bit, but we ain't gonna let him get hurt. Got me at the right time. I don't know. But the word of Yahuah out of my mouth was Yahu, Yahu, Yahu. Can't kill me. You can't kill me. He says, above all, taking the shield, operating in Amunah. And again, you develop and establish yourself in Amunah by hearing you audibly read the word and hear the word of Yahuwah. That's how Amunah comes. Now, if you're meditating on Torah regularly, then you're hearing and speaking it out of your mouth. Because, again, like I said, I am a proponent of reading the word audibly. Amunah comes. Got to hear it. Hearing is active, continual. It's more than just having heard it. Because your mind is developed, it's transformed, is renewed as you speak Torah out of your mouth and hear yourself hear Torah. Now, I'm not suggesting that you just can't read Torah in the bed. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't read the Torah and just read it with your eyes, because you can. But it says in the book, faith comes by hearing. See, because that's going to cause you to quench the fiery darts, the attacks that Yahuchanon is going to launch. Right? Then he says, and the helmet of Yeshua. The helmet of Yeshua. Listen, right. This is my helmet, right? You really can't see it. Maybe you can. You see that brush scrape right there? Huh? You kind of hard to see it, right? Right, that's where my head hit. You can kind of see some of it over here too, right? I have my helmet on. Right? And at the time, I probably had the eye visor down, right? So, let me see. Right? So I have eye shields down. Sometimes when I ride like this, right? Right? But that time, I have my helmet down, and I ride like this. And I got that. Right? You have to be anchored. You have to be anchored in Yeshua. Your mind has to be renewed. You have to stay in. You have to keep that covering. Yeshua. If I would have been riding without a helmet, for me, that would have been absurd anyway, because, you know, I'm in Florida, and Florida's, you don't have to ride a helmet. Just got to wear eyewear gear. I grew up riding in New York State where you had to wear a helmet, right? So when I came to Florida and eventually got a motorcycle again, listen, you know, it would just make sense to me to get a helmet. I didn't want to ride around without no helmet. You know, I got 3 or 4 different types of helmets, but I'll wear a helmet. I'm going to protect my head. I'm going to protect myself, my Yeshua. See, and all of these things, right? All of these things, having your loins girded about with truth, the source of your power, right? The Ruach, the breastplate that covers your inners, right? Righteousness that anchors you and establishes you through the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah, right? That makes you his. Righteousness, because you keep Torah, because you obey Torah. And it's not a struggle for you, because you have a new heart. You understand. You can now keep his statutes, right? You prepared in doing what Yahusha has called you to do in this witness. And you're doing it, right? You're taking your Amunah above all. Because Amunah is the key to it all. Amunah is the key to your success in all of it. That's why Shaul said above all. You have to operate in Amunah. I'm sitting on a road, standing on a road in the country with a bike. I don't even think it's totaled. I really don't. It's gonna need some repairs, but I don't think it's totaled. Because I was looking at some pictures. I'm gonna post some pictures. I was looking at the pictures, and you know, the frame, the forks, none of that looks like it messed up. So a lot of it's cosmetic, I believe. So I believe it's gonna ride again, right? But anyway, these people on this road. I'm on the other side of New York State. I'm like 93 miles from my destination. Still got 93 miles to go. How am I going to get there? I ain't worried. Most High walked it out. Walked it out. Up until the day, having left my mother's and departed here, back home to Florida. The Most High worked it out. The helmet of Yeshua and the sword of the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Torah of Yahuah. That's what you use, right? 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 But listen, the sword of the Spirit is the word of Yahuah spoken out of your mouth. See, your Amunah attached to the sword, the word of Yahuah, is what causes the darts to fall. See, because in your Amunah, you are convinced that whatever state you're in, this too will pass. And the sword of the word, the Torah that you speak, that you have read, that has confirmed that very fact, you continue to say in Amunah. It's the word of Yahuah. Yahuwah's word always comes to pass. If you're righteous, you have the covering of Yeshua. You are prepared and in position and continue to go forth in the Besorah of truth. And you know the Torah is your life force. The word, the Torah of truth, the Ruach of truth is your life force. And then you have the sword of the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Right? Which is the word of Yahuah. The word of Yahuah spoken by a man or a woman who has the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuah. That's why you have keys. That's why you can ask. That's why you can lay hands. That's why you ain't got to worry about eating any deadly thing. That's no excuse for fleeing Babylon. He said, because no, you need to escape Babylon. Don't partake in her judgment. You know. I ain't hating y'all if y'all want to stay. I ain't hating nobody want to stay. I'm just leaving Babylon. Like my Aki, Ruach Abar, look. You know, Hezekiah, I know. Look, he know. The God, all family know. Babylon's falling. And some of y'all who just don't want to leave houses and lands and mothers and fathers for the sake of the witness to escape the judgment of Yahuah. Yeah, well, you want to receive your reward, which is the same as their reward, because you didn't want to take heed. What time is it? Listen. He says, praying always with all prayers and supplication in the Ruach HaKodesh, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all the Kodeshim. Prayer, supplicate in the Ruach HaKodesh, praying in the Ruach HaKodesh, praying in the Ruach, praying with your understanding, singing in the Ruach, singing with your understanding. This is about being an ambassador. This is about saying what Yahuwah says. This is about understanding you aren't a pushover. You go through troops. You climb on walls. You take the battle to Hasatan because you got everything you need and the witness to get the job done. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen, we're going to stop there. I know this is a word. This is a good word. And I know that this word is for those who are chosen. And I'm praying right now that you who listen to this YouTube will take this word and would share it with those that Yahuwah has chosen. Listen. This is not about likes. This is not about any of that. This is about this kingdom message. Abba Yahuwah, I pray right now in the name of Yahusha Mashiach that the words that you have given me to give to them, they would keep them. And that this word, this Besorah, this Torah of truth would bring life to them, as your word declares, that your word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our pathway. You declared in Torah that the entrance of your word gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. You said, hold on, because I'm praying Torah. You said, blessed is the undefiled in the way. Yahusha is the way, the truth, and the life. Abba, you said, blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the Torah of Yahuah. I pray that those who walk in the Torah, through Amunah in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach, who keep his commandments. I pray that they would be blessed above measure. You said that blessed they that keep your testimonies, seek him with the whole heart. I pray that they who seek you with the whole heart will experience the blessings that come. Abba Yahuwah, the desire is to flee this wicked whore. I thank you that you have made provisions right now for us to do just that. Those that you have chosen, those that have received this witness in Amunah. For this I give you praise. Abba Yahuwah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made today. Yahuwah's favored you. Listen, this was a little long one, but I guarantee you, if you listen to it to the end, you will be blessed. So, tomorrow is the Shabbat, and you know me, I love the Shabbat. I praise Yahuwah for the Shabbat. I praise Yahuwah for the Shabbat. I praise Yahuwah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, enjoy. Enjoy. Yahuwah Shabbat is rest. With that, I say, listen. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shabbat, shalom, Shabbat, shalom, Shabbat, shalom. And listen, be blessed.
Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.